Hey guys, welcome to my channel. I'm Greg. I'm going to go over Bitcoin and the cryptocurrency market and give you my take on that. So let's see what's going on. I know I haven't done an update for a little while. It's been a few days, guys. I took a break off, took some time off actually, and so now I'm back. I was actually out of town for a little while, guys. I was down in Mexico City for a little bit, and so just want to take a break from the YouTubes, guys. So that's it. Not much has changed since Bitcoin's pump, still sideways, but let's go over the general area of the markets. It's important for Bitcoin, see if it's still going to trend up and to the right, which is a question of the day. A lot of people are still real bearish. They're starting to get bearish in the traditional financial market, especially here on the NASDAQ. But as you can see, NASDAQ's gone up quite a bit, and it's gone up so much that they think it's probably going to drop at some time. Well, I kept saying that too. I said, hey, maybe it's going to peak there. And it kept on going up, guys. And it looks like the NASDAQ is going to peak sometime between October and January, guys. So that's what it's going to be doing. Looks like it's going to break all-time highs too, probably. More than likely up here at 16,790. I'm on the E-mini futures, so they're a little bit different than the regular NASDAQ, which is at 13,660. And if this is going to be trading up and to the right into those areas into January, let's say, then more than likely Bitcoin's going to have some support to be able to trend up and to the right, guys. So is there going to be a correction in this area? Very well could. So that's on a monthly chart. Let's look at a weekly, and it could come down and test the 9-period moving average. And by the time the 21 in a couple of weeks, probably get way up here. It could come down and test that at 14, hit that fair value gap at 14,679, or this one right here, 14,1. So have a correction, maybe like something like that down there. Or it just might be something minor. On the daily, you can see it's testing the 21 twice, and it could come down. This will come up a little bit to 14.8 or something like that. Maybe even a tag on that fair value gap at 14.7 and hit the 40-period moving average and go about its way, guys, just like it did right here. Boom. So it went right through it, you see, in that area. Boom. And it come back down. This will be in the next few days. This should be up here, the 40, and then boom, on its way. So you can see it follows the 9, the 21, and the 40. Pretty close all along the way, guys. So up and to the right for a period of time. Grayscale Bitcoin Trust on the 2-month chart. The reason I have it on the 2-month chart is I have another box up top for another target for Grayscale Bitcoin Trust because it gave me on the 2-month chart the algos, and that is up here in this area. So initials are right here, 38 to 52, which is very, very reasonable here, guys. That's very reasonable for Grayscale to get up there. Let's see, from November to July. But now it has targets up here in this area from 61 to as high as 90. Okay, so it could do that move, guys, and that would be very, very good for Bitcoin if it does that. Because for Bitcoin, it raises up the targets up there too. And I'll go over those second when I go over Bitcoin, guys. It very well could be doing something like this over here, guys. Okay, just not as long. Just not as long. A move more like this. You can see this was pretty much up in the right, had sideways action through here from May of 16 to for a year. Well, almost a year, March of 17. It kind of just went sideways and then it carried on in that section. So it could do something like that. It very well could, guys. But I definitely think 38 to 52 and as high as 60 is definitely a target for Grayscale. So that'd be good for Bitcoin, guys, if it does that. I have the this line right here too for Grayscale, that January 24. It looks like it's going to carry on with its trend all the way possibly into January of 24 for a Grayscale Bitcoin Trust, guys. We're in July, and I think it's going to just probably do a grind up there, more than likely. Let's see how that all works out. MicroStrategy here on the weekly. The weekly, it's looking good. So MicroStrategy is going to go up. Grayscale Bitcoin is going to go up. Well, you can probably almost guarantee, no guarantees in the markets, but darn near with Bitcoin, it'll probably be going up too, guys. You can look at the miners too, are doing really, really well. Clean Spark, if you take a look at Riot, did really, really well. Where's Mara? Mara's not up so much, but still going up. And all this is telling me Clean Spark, Mara, and then also what's the other one? Riot and MicroStrategy and GBTC is the market is just not quite ready for Bitcoin and cryptocurrency because it looks like the market right now looks at cryptocurrency, Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, whether you want to call Bitcoin a crypto or not. Some people don't. That's fine, but the market's just not quite ready for the really, really, really risky ones, which is the more risky ones is Bitcoin and the rest of cryptocurrency is how I am reading that. So the time will come sometime in the future that the market probably will flow into the more risky assets. It's kind of like, as an example, if you come here, you can see like the NASDAQ is going up, the S&P 500, and the Dow Jones is going okay. The other one, the New York Stock Exchange is going up okay, but you can see the Russell is actually up 1.27. The Russell 2000 is starting to catch up. So there's a little bit of rotation from the more risky ones or the less risky ones into the little bit more risky ones, like the smaller caps in the Russell 2000s, guys. So, but it's interesting though that the Qs, the tech stocks are leading charge, which are more risky out of all of them, but it's taken off. More than likely, that's because of the AI and the technology, which goes back to my theory on possibly the S&P 500. Now, let me take all this stuff off for you real quick, those fair value gaps. The S&P 500 and going up to hit like 47, 48 and into a new bullish trend. And the blow off top for the S&P 500 will, and the NASDAQ will be coming because of that new technologies that'll be leading the way, like AI and everything, guys. So that's how I read that. And now let's go over Bitcoin. Take a look at Bitcoin and on a lower time frame. This is on the weekly chart. I got a mess on there right now because I have some stuff that I'm looking at right here for Bitcoin. So I post this on Twitter. If you guys want to update what I'm doing, I post updates on Twitter. So pretty regularly. That's pretty much all that I post on Twitter. But the deal is over here, over on my Twitter page, guys. I'll show you right here. I post all the updates I have going on in Twitter, okay, for any of the Bitcoin or anything else that I'm looking at closely. Mostly lately it's been Bitcoin, and occasionally I'll post some other ones too. DMTR, CSM, you can see that I post on there, let you guys know what I think. Here's Bitcoin on the 20, on the daily, on the 21. And I think you have a good shot. It's probably going to come back around and tag the 40. Okay, but by the time it gets to it, it's going to be at 29,000. Okay. That's kind of what I'm looking at. These red lines all are targets, the 29.5, the 29.1, and the 28.400. Okay, or 300. 28.400 is what I put. Looks like to raise it up a little bit, but I definitely think this could be a sweet spot. And then could I have a wicks down to 27? That's kind of wishful thinking, guys. I don't know if it's going to get down that far. I don't even know if it's going to hit 28 really, but I definitely think these two areas are going to be a target because by the time it gets into this area, Bitcoin, this move right here, let me put that back on black, will be up like that. And it'll probably be right at that 29.1 or something like that in that area, in my opinion. So by the time Bitcoin is finished with this correction, then it's going to be ready to go on a trend up to 34-ish and going into possibly September, late August, maybe September or something like that. I'd be looking at targets of 40, 40,000 to maybe as high as 46, 48,000 guys for Bitcoin. Okay. I think it's just going to do a grind up there. Probably do quick moves like that, come back down. Maybe it goes up to 36, do more of a grind, and then back up there to 48 guys. So it's going to be interesting to see what Bitcoin, how this is all going to play out, whether this is going to be just a grind up and just continue to grind, or if it's going to go up to say 48, maybe 55, and then back down to do a correction. Just don't know yet, guys. Nobody can tell you that. So here's Bitcoin on the 2-month chart that I was telling you about, because what is it? Grayscale Bitcoin has targets that are higher. So let me go to the futures chart. No, I'll just stick with this chart, guys. So the deal is that Bitcoin is right in this area. I have those targets on the 2-month chart. And now there's targets I used to have from 55 to 82. And now there are targets from 81-ish all the way up to about 115 for Bitcoin. Okay. So that's a little bit high for me. 81 I think could be reasonable. Now what is it going to do it going into, say, January, the next 6 months? I don't know about that one, guys. I don't know about that one. I mean, I like to throw a little bit of hopium every now and then, but just remains to be seen. It could be doing a move like this down here, guys. So this on GBTC over here, this move from July of 15 all the way up to November of 17 for looks like about 2.5 years. Here on Bitcoin, it just kind of just started grinding up. That is a possibility. It could do a grind up, guys. So it remains to be seen. I was kind of maybe thinking to get to 48 to 55 and then maybe do a correction, which is reasonable. So I'm just letting you know that's a little bit of a hopium up there. But I do think if it's going to do a grind all the way up, 55-ish is definitely a target. And then 69-ish right there at the top here to hit those tops. And then maybe it just hit 81. Something like that, guys. Possibly if you want to it continue to grind up, I think those targets would be a little bit more reasonable. Somewhere near all-time highs is what I said with Bitcoin previously on a lot of videos, just because I have the targets right here for GBTC going into that area. MicroStrategy is a little bit different. It's very bullish, and the other thing is too, with MicroStrategy, it's not 100%. Because MicroStrategy, they do have Bitcoin in their portfolio, but they do have another business. And if that business doesn't do well, then, that could take this business along with it. So it's just a guide more or less. But the target for MicroStrategy, the 416, it's almost hit that. And I was looking at 542 to 750. And then these are targets here too for MicroStrategy as high as almost $940 or $900, which is pretty close to where Bitcoin went when it was at its peak there at 66, 67K. So MicroStrategy popped up here to about, what is that? 889. 889 when Bitcoin made it to 69K, 67K, whatever that number was. One of those two. Okay. And it could be doing that move over here, guys. That's the move that it's doing in this section on that weekly chart. To me, that's extremely bullish with an impulse there, potential impulse there, and a potential impulse here. And then I definitely think 50, these are going to be targets of 552 and then up to there. So you can see that it all kind of flows together with Grayscale going up in this area. MicroStrategy keep trending up pretty good. That Bitcoin could keep doing that also too, guys. So this is going to be a real surprise with a lot of people at traditional financial markets. If you go to the NASDAQ E-mini futures or just let's go to the regular NASDAQ, what we have right here, guys. I already hit my box, it looked like. On this one, I put a box target up there. Yeah, basically it hit it at 13,780. So I'll be the first to admit this was my mistake on my part, because I considered Bitcoin as the new tech stock in town, right? And I kind of knew that this was going to be coming. What the NASDAQ what it's done here, going up and thrusting up this high, was kind of a surprise. I didn't expect to be this aggressive, but I kind of thought Bitcoin would be going along. That was my mistake. Obviously, the market doesn't look at it like that. Not the way I was looking at it. Hey, I thought tech stocks probably going to do pretty good. I was looking at Facebook. I went over this in 2022. I said, guys, Facebook is bottoming. Netflix is bottoming. All these tech stocks are bottoming. They're getting ready to like roll on out of there. And you're probably going to see the NASDAQ start rolling on out too. Pretty good. It had a struggle at the beginning, came back down, whizzed out of there a little bit, and now it's off. So they're taking it. Now, a lot of people have this belief that it's just like 10 tech stocks that are running the show in the NASDAQ. That's not true. That's not true. You tell them, look at all the stocks. You tell them, look at all the stocks and then do a detailed analysis. Now, are they holding more weight? They are, but there's a lot of rotation that's going on. They're starting to get a little bit more comfortable in this market going, hey, you know, here's some undervalued ones over there, kind of like the bank stocks, right? The bank stocks were really holding the market back, the S&P 500. If you take a look at that, it wasn't able to take off because those bank stocks were going down still, or financials in the S&P 500, guys, right? So the S&P 500 was kind of like going sideways in this area, but those bank stocks were still bottoming. The financials were still bottoming. And what did they do? They bottomed. And then what? They start rolling out a little bit. And then what do you get? Boom, boom, boom. That's why I was mentioning over here in the markets, what you wanted to do is take a look at the, where is it? The KRE areas like that, and even a little bit of the housing market too. So that's what happened, guys. And my mistake was I thought Bitcoin was going to roll out a little bit better. Maybe it's playing a catch up. Maybe it will start accelerating a little bit more throughout the rest of the year on Bitcoin. Okay, guys. So I'll go back over some of the details with you, what I'm looking at with Bitcoin. Okay. These are all going to be difficult. This is going to be a difficult situation. Okay. To get into Bitcoin if you're not in, you know, what do you have to lose here? You know, like if it gets down to 28.3, not financial advice, you probably want to bite. So you want to put, if you're just in crypto, you want to put majority of everything that you have probably in Bitcoin, not financial advice again. Okay. Cause it's going to probably move, more aggressively than some other coins. Now, that's not to say some of those coins aren't going to rip, guys. There's some coins that are probably going to rip, but the matter is that are you going to be able to catch those? You know, now you're playing a little bit more of a, I call it magical musical chairs that goes on in crypto. So it goes over here, they move over here, move over here, guys. So crypto is not ready for, if Bitcoin's going up, Ethereum's going up, they're all going up. It's just not there yet. So, but I do think it's coming. It's just going to take a little bit more time. The risky side of it, with everything that's going on, with everything in the news, with Binance now, and then what that Gensler guy keeps running around, and you know they don't know if some people in the market, they don't know if these are securities, they don't know, you know, what's the future, what is going on. Just think of it like a regular retail, kind of like over here when I'm with the NASDAQ. If you look at it from a regular retail point of view, right? So I'm going to go over this with you guys. I'll show you something here real quick. All right, so I'll show you something. So if you think about this reasonably, right, here's a regular retail point of view on the NASDAQ, and interest rates were going up. And looking at some data, if you just look at it from a fluff point of view and maybe get it from CNBC, Bloomberg, or Twitter, you're thinking is that like there's just no way the markets could go up. They're not ready for it, for like a regular retail point of view, right? And so they're still getting that message, it appears so, and they're not ready to get in. So they're going to FOMO in. Okay. They're going to FOMO in. And I still think that you have a shot that that's going to happen with Bitcoin. It looks like it really needs to break that 30, probably 35 or 40K area for Bitcoin, and probably definitely a 48K. So you see what I'm saying? How this market now, the whole train of thought for the last 10 years is that the Fed is going to stop raising rates. There's going to be a pivot. It'll crash and it'll go back up, which is reasonable to think. However, that might not happen. Okay. They keep saying high for longer. And what some folks from the past 10 years can't understand is how the markets are going to go up with rates up. They're just not going to, that's not going to be fathomable to them. Okay. It's just not. Okay. So the market is actually rotating itself to get used to what? A new environment. It's called a high interest rate environment, which actually is normal, guys. With interest rates at zero, that means your economy is unhealthy, kind of like Japan. If your interest rates are a little bit higher, 6, 7, or even 8%, that means your economy is a little bit more healthy if you think about it, guys. All right. So back to Bitcoin. And you look right here, and then these are definitely targets. I'll go over there again. 29.5. I'm waiting for Bitcoin to get down maybe to that area. I want to see what it's going to do over the next few days, going into maybe the 9th, 10th, 11th, or 12th of July, and definitely here. And then from the 29.1, the 29.2-ish to the 28.4-ish, okay? And just looking at how it's pivoting, it doesn't seem like it wants to come all the way down here. And then I have my plan for a Hail Mary at 27.6 in case it decides to wick all the way down there. I'll have what I do is I have limit orders. So as an example, I'm not going to put a stop, guys. Okay. I'm not going to put a stop because I'm very confident that this is going to be trending up and to the right. Okay. So I'm going to do, as an example, at 29.4, I have an order. Okay. For a bag that let's say you would have put in $1,000 at 10x, right? I have 250. Okay. 250. And then here I might have another 250. Boom. It might tag that. And I'll just let it come on back down. And then in this area, I might have 500, do the whole bag, but just for a little protection back down here, because I'm not going to run that stop. I'm going to have it down here and maybe another one down here. In case it comes on down, it'll hit all of them, right? Boom, 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 boom. And again, start getting out of there, guys. That's how I do it with a plan on leverage in that area. I'm not going to go 29.5 and then set my stop at freaking 29.2 only for it to start just keep stopping me out. If that makes sense, guys, because my confidence of this going up and to the right. Okay. I only do that when I'm confident and it goes up and to the right, guys. I know it's going to be going that way. So then let's say it just ends up right here, right at 28.7. Well, then I have two that don't go there. But even though it's still going to be hanging out in there, I still keep these. On. Okay. I still keep these on just in case it runs up there. So it's the same thing with the Bitcoin Cash. So I was telling you guys about the Bitcoin Cash and it came up here and you have a good shot for the Bitcoin Cash. Where was I talking about it? Like in this area, the 280, 90-ish, right? I said, okay, guys, this is like an easy short trade. This is an easy short trade because more than likely, if it hits the 9-period moving average, it's going to come down to the 21 right here. Okay. And I said on Twitter, I said, this is like a no-brainer, guys. Like you could get 25% run. And on 10x leverage, that's like 250%. So what you do, is you enter in, okay, and then you put your numbers up here if it hits, just like it did right here. Okay, so it could pop all the way up, boom, right? And you go in, you enter in and say, okay, 270 let's say at 290, okay, and then you just don't put your stop there, okay, because this is easy. You don't put your stop, and you're like, oh, okay, I get entered in at 292. I'm gonna put a stop at 296, okay, because look what happened, boom. You got stopped out. So what I did, I put orders in. Because I was confident this is going to come down. This is confident to me that this is going to come down and probably at least touch that. So let me turn that back to blue. I'll show you like right here. Okay. Boom, 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 boom to 242. And I said, okay, if I enter in at say 290, and it comes down to 242. Okay. That's 19% or basically 190% on 10x leverage, guys. Okay. So, and then if you do it with less leverage, then it's obviously very, very comfortable, right? 3 or 4x. But I only go that high when I'm extremely, extremely confident in the trade. Okay. Just to let you guys know. So now it's coming down back in that area. But what happened is that I entered in at 279, 280. Okay. And it was coming down. It came all the way back down to here. I said, hey, it could pop all the way up to 300. And then if that's the case, just put in orders. So like at 285, I had an order. And at I think it was 299. Maybe not 299. It was something up, actually had higher, maybe 308 or something like that, because it didn't hit. So I had one come up and it hit, but it didn't go high enough to hit this next one at 307 or something like that I had in this area, guys. Maybe it wasn't 307. It was just above this and it didn't hit it. Okay. and then it came back. It started coming back down anyhow because I only got two in, not three, and now I do think it's going to come back down and then hit this 21. And there's a good shot too that it actually could come down and hit the 40 all the way back down here, guys, because it's very, very bearish according to my algos. And then you're looking at boom. Okay. So, but now if it's in, now that I'm in, okay, I got a 10% risk right there. Okay. That's my area, 30, 307, 308. I have 10% risk. Okay. So obviously that's a huge gamble right there on that side if it does decide to pop up. But I think you got a good shot. If it hits this 21, just like so, is where I would exit out, just like so, guys. Okay. And not take the chance to hope that it goes like that. Okay. There is a good shot that it will go like this. You know, if you want to possibly stay in it for not financial advice, stay in it for a long time, but it's going to come back down here. Then it's going to freaking go sideways for a little while, probably even pop back up into here, like here. So you're negative again, and then it starts going down like that, guys. So that's the issue with Bitcoin Cash, guys. That's pretty much it for the video today, guys. I just wanted to go over Bitcoin with you guys and what I'm seeing in the markets and what could be going on with Bitcoin. And these are definitely in this area. Now, this pink zone that I have on Bitcoin is a fair value gap, and it tagged it right there. Okay. It could come back around definitely, and that's why I have a one for an order right on top of that. So on these fair value gaps, it could fill it, but it doesn't have to fill it all the way. Okay. All it needs to do is to fill it. It could do a half fill. So it could come all the way back down to 28.9 and do a half fill. Okay. On a fair value gap. Okay. So this is a weekly fair value gap, by the way, guys. So boom, 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 half fill 28.9, or it could fill it all the way back down that 28.4. Just not going to know till it's down there. That's why you have your orders down here. At least I do in this area. There's another daily, I think it's a weekly fair value gap that's on Bitcoin right now, guys, like this. If I put on this fair value gap deal right here, you have two, okay? But I definitely think that this one is a target to do a half fill on that. And if Bitcoin comes back around and does a half fill on that fair value gap, which I'm going to take it off, it's a little bit messy, and then it'll be ready to go up to these areas, guys, okay? And start hitting the next target ultimately will be this area up here, which is a supply zone as high as 46 to 48K, guys, for Bitcoin. Next target, next trend up, in my opinion, going into possibly maybe August, September, maybe as far as October. If you made it all the way to the end, do me a huge favor, drop a like, hit the subscribe button. Peace.